David, let me start with you on the question of Portugal. I mean, we heard officials out of that country today saying, no worries, we're going to be fine here, no bailout necessary. Do they default? Is Portugal next?
Well, I don't think a default's in the cards just yet, but certainly a bailout, and that looks like it could happen as soon as this weekend. Tomorrow's auction, as you pointed out, is critical. If it's having to pay very high interest rates to borrow, there's a huge incentive for Portugal to go to the European Stabilization Facility and borrow from the IMF at much lower rates. And that's really where it's headed. If you notice today, a member of the Portuguese central bank's governing board, said that going to the EU and the IMF for help is really the way ahead for Portugal. The central bank also issued a growth forecast for 2011. It was at negative 1.3%, 2012 plus 0.6%. Those aren't the kind of numbers that can sustain massive austerity measures, high borrowing costs, and solvency. So there is a problem here, and it's a matter of timing. We may get buy-in out of these Asian central banks tomorrow, may go off. But if that happens, it's just kicking the can down the road. Portugal is going to need help.
Do we see then, Jonathan, do we see that cause some kind of domino reaction here? I mean, do you think Spain, and this is the real worry for people about Europe, right? Do you think Spain needs a bailout as well?
Yes, I think Spain will eventually need a bailout of some kind. I can't disagree with what David said. I think the key issue is that this is not just a liquidity issue, it's a solvency issue. And that's why when the markets get excited about Japan, China, maybe other Asian sovereign wealth funds buying debt of the stabilization fund or indeed directly of Spain and Portugal, etc., that doesn't solve the problem in the long time. The issue is that these countries have accumulated over the last 10 years way too much debt, and they have become increasingly uncompetitive over the last 10 years. And you simply are not going to solve that problem by lending them more money.